Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Epidemic. My name is Narb, and here we are back on Alpine once again, and we're with our bunkers here, except this time it looks a little bit different, in case you couldn't tell. I was playing around for a bit, and I figured out a pretty good palette for a radiation kind of effect, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go into Forge and pull up our map options. So the first thing I did right here is I set the theme to overcast, and I made sure to have the green process screen effect on because, you know, we really want that green kind of look. Then when we go to near fog, I turned it to gritty, and I think gritty works the best, but I noticed a few other ones that are pretty good as well. But with the gritty one, you can really see like the particles and the dust in this, and I think it really fits for that kind of radiation kind of look. So I use gritty. I set the two primary and secondary colors to green, and the scale is at 8, thickness is at 1, and the brightness is at 2. And you can change these to whatever you like. I just think this one is the best. It's kind of just a normal looking one. You could make it look a lot more obnoxious if you wanted to. You know, you could increase the brightness to something really bright, but I wouldn't recommend that because it's really hard to see if you turn it to something like 10. So moving on, this is the distance fog. I turned this to a darker green just because it's kind of farther in the distance. The thickness is at 5 and the brightness is at 1. And the cloud shadows, I turned them to blotchy. I think they work pretty well like that, but again, you could change that to whatever you want, but I chose blotchy because it makes it a bit more darker, and I really wanted some extra shadows, and I made that scale to 2. And for the wind, we turned that on. I made the X direction 0.5, Y direction -0.5, and the Z direction also -0.5. Decorators are on, and everything else down here is for when you're actually placing blocks on your map. But yeah, that's pretty much the settings for it. You can really customize this to however you want. But again, this is just what I feel like is the best for a normal kind of medium setting. And if you really want to get into it, you can add sounds to your map. So I added 2. I think they sound pretty good for this kind of effect. So the first one right here is the Nature Ledge Large, and this is pretty much just the sound of wind. So it kind of helps the idea that this stuff is moving around and you can hear it. And then surprisingly, I used the Forerunner texture sound number 7, and I think this one works really well. It's kind of ominous and futuristic, and I guess radiation is kind of like that. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I think it works pretty well, and I'll give you a sample of what that sounds like. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much else to really say about this, but I will mention one thing. I do think this effect will look a lot better on maps that have structures, because if you look in the distance here, it kind of takes away the feel of like radiation when I look at the mountains. But if I go inside of my bunker right here, you can see it really looks like creepy, and you know, obviously something has gone wrong. And this is even a little bit heavy, so if you have a lot of rooms on your map, I might recommend turning the brightness down a little bit, because you know, it is a bit overwhelming, but still, I like this a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Feel free to leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see next, and I will try to do it as quickly as I can. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the near future.